There we go. We're live on YouTube. Just remember, when we're doing the side chat now, it goes out over YouTube. If I have it, the buttons pressed to where I can speak to you, we're live on YouTube at the same time. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Updates on Twitter. Follow us there.
Could you hear Ollie Barrett for a second? Okay.
Yep.
News bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by liking Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here. But for now, that is the latest Feature Story News. Ollie Barrett reporting.
KCHW is online at kchw.org. Listen to the live stream, find out about station events, memberships, local weather, and volunteering. You're listening to KCHW 102.7.
This is financial advisor Ryan Moore of Edward Jones bringing you the daily financial market report for May the 6th. U.S. equities ended the day lower. Utilities, energy, and financials were hit the hardest. Consumer discretionary and technology held up. In economic news, U.S. private payroll fell by more than 20 million in April. In corporate news, Disney reported earnings below expectations and announced it is suspending its dividend for the first half of the year. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 218 points to 23,665. S&P 500 down 20 to 2,848. NASDAQ up 45 to 8,854. 30-year Treasury yield closed at 1.4% and the 10-year at 0.7%. Spot price of gold down $21.20 to $1,689.40. Crude oil down 40 cents to $24.16. This is financial advisor Ryan Moore of Edward Jones, member SIPC, located in Deer Park, Washington, reporting for KCHW, Northern Lights Public Radio.
I bet people didn't even think we were going to be here today, Chuck.
Why wouldn't we be here today?
Well, just because we were so late.
A little late.
A little late.
A little late. Better late than never.
Here we go. Good morning. It's KCHW 102.7, looking at 8:26. That's right. To me and Chuck Ritchie slept in. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning.
All right. All right. Make sure you're a little closer. Your mic's a little light, a little closer to that computer for me. Thank you very much, sir. So I'm live here in the studios like we've been doing for weeks now. Chuck Ritchie live from his living room. How's it going at home, Chuck?
It's going great. A little wet here. Everything's all wet, but we're good.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to dry out over the next few days. All that rain yesterday, much needed. Today, just partly cloudy skies, 64 and 41, 0% chance of precipitation. Now we roll into a nice 3 days, mostly sunny for your Friday, 72 and 46, 10% chance of rain on Friday. Then Saturday, sunny, 74 and 49. Sunday, mostly sunny, 70 and 43. Looks like Monday right now, with more of us returning to work on Mondays, 67 and 42. That's the way it looks right now. All right. Mr. Ritchie, are you excited about some of the changes coming up? I know you guys have been in full lockdown. You guys are really good at this. You wear your masks everywhere. I'm proud of you, Chuck.
Thank you. We're doing our part.
All right.
No, I think obviously the graphic design business has been able to continue to work throughout. We lost some work up front. But the workshop, we're probably, I think, what were we on, stage 3 or 4, something like that? One of the later stages. But when we do reopen, we're probably going to do, scheduled time, have maximum like 3 people at a time in the space, and you go online and you can schedule your space at the workshop. So
you're working out a way to bring that back open, right?
Yeah. We have a workout plan, but we're not quite. We're in phase. I think we'll be in phase 3. So. All
right. Looking at headlines, I found one place this morning that actually it's one place in America with no COVID-19. Do you know where that is?
No, I don't.
That is in American Samoa.
American Samoa. I was thinking Guam, but yeah.
Coronavirus death toll in the United States has climbed past 70,000, thousands of new cases every day, but still one part of our country without a single confirmed case, and that is American Samoa. And part of the reason of this is immediately they shut down all flights coming into the island. And then they had already had a, measles outbreak there last year or a year before. So they had already been used to this social distancing thing. So it was no big deal for them. They immediately went into lockdown. They say the archipelago has sealed itself off for nearly 2 months now from the outside world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for that.
Yeah. I'd take a vacation, but they won't let me in. All right. Also got excited. I saw a fourth stimulus bill. I didn't know they were up to a fourth stimulus bill.
Where'd the first one ever go?
Well, I think most of us got stimulated by that one because we got our $1,200 check. But I have seen no stimulation since then for either me or the radio station.
No, we've applied for all kinds of stuff and haven't heard back from any of the grants or anything we've applied from.
Yeah, I applied for the Facebook journalism grant, which was like $100,000 minimum. And I applied for that at the minimum, and I got my Dear John letter yesterday. They broke up with me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. We got an email from one the other day. Then we saw the email and it said regarding your whatever grant it was from somebody, and we're like, oh sweet. So we click on it, and it was just saying, hey, we got your application. Don't worry, it's still here.
Oh, I would like to know what happened to the Small Business Administration because I made it in that first round. And I've never gotten an email, any kind of contact whatsoever. I guess you really didn't need to be I think you had to be a big business to get the money.
I think so. That seems to be
Because I have not heard from one small business that I've heard about getting the payroll, the payday loans. But those $10,000 grants, I don't know anybody who got one.
Right. I think our administration's definition of a small business is different than most people's.
Yes, to be a small business, you must gross at least $20 million a year.
That's a small business, right?
There's something going on. It didn't work out like it was supposed to, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. There wasn't a lot of new stuff out there today, which always makes me excited. Now, I'd heard we got a new press secretary, but I was really shocked when I saw her this morning. You know what I'm thinking? This is an attempt at eye candy, so we don't care what comes out of their mouth.
Have you heard the thing that what she started a press conference and then rambled off some stuff about how the media is horrible and walked off stage?
Oh, really?
Press conference, yeah.
All right, she's been training.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Is that your script?
Yeah.
I wonder where she got it from. All right.
She just walked on and listed a bunch of news sources that at the very beginning of this, like 3 months ago, were like, oh, it'll never hit America, and then walked off stage.
Wow.
I said, think about that.
Death toll's top 20,000 in New York State. And then I was seeing the pictures last night from last weekend in the parks. Oh, my gosh. They're not going to come out of this if they keep that up. It was shoulder-to-shoulder people in some of the parks. Big story about how police were hassling people in Brooklyn, but letting people maybe in the more white, affluent neighborhoods do what they want. Big story on it. Independent reporter came out with pictures of both sides and was like, what's going on here? They're only harassing the black and Hispanic people to social distance. And in this park over here in the rich area, you've got white people shoulder to shoulder eating sandwiches and sitting in the sun. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I was reading stuff, and then I kept reading. I was like, I thought Blasio was doing okay there, but it looks like he's totally imploded on himself, too. Oh, well.
I can't even imagine.
So, have you made any quarantine memes?
Any memes? No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, man. I thought you would have one of those invented for me.
I've shared a bunch of them. I got a pretty good meme stash going on.
All right. So excited that people can be out in the woods and using some of our parks. Camping tips camping is coming, like overnight camping, right? Isn't that like phase 3 or something like that? Phase 2 where you can actually camp overnight?
I think so. I thought I'd heard that the state parks opened up yesterday or the day before, but I can't confirm that.
And there's so much. It's hard to find exactly because at first it was, and I believe day use only. I don't think the overnight camping was being allowed, but that was like the next stage, I think.
Right.
All right. So, but we do have some new camping tips for the pandemic, and I want to share those. Are you ready? Do you like to camp, Chuck?
I've been known to camp, but it's been a while.
All right. You know, I got a great private campground that's open all the time.
We essentially camped permanently for 4 years, so I think we got that out of our system for a little.
All right. So you lived in a tent or a teepee?
And 30 and fifth wheel.
Oh, a fifth wheel. Oh, that's my favorite way to live. All right. It is. You know, some people, it's a little bigger than a tiny house.
Right. And we had cable and internet and running water.
Yeah. All right. When the pandemic subsides, get out of the house and get back to nature for maximum enjoyment and minimum mishaps. Observe these camping tips when using a public campground. A tuba placed on your picnic table will keep other campsites away. And also each space on either side of you will stay vacant if you place a tuba on your picnic table.
That's a fantastic idea.
It is. Unwrap and leave a few chocolate bars out in the hot sun. When the evening comes, you can have chocolate-covered ants.
Yummy.
All right. If you have enough people with you, lint from your navel makes handy fire starter. Just remember, Chuck, remember to remove the lint from your navel before applying the match.
Yes, also remember to remove it from your neighbor. Yeah.
That's wrong, Chuck. I'm not touching my neighbor's belly button. All right, take this simple test to see if you qualify for solo camping, Chuck. Shine a flashlight into one of your ears. If the beam shines out the other ear, do not go into the woods alone.
No, I've met some of those people in the woods.
That'd be kind of scary if you held a flashlight up and you could see it out the other side.
Yeah, I'd be worried. You should probably call a doctor.
Bear bells provide an element of safety for hikers in grizzly country. Wait until the bears are resting before applying the bells.
That's right.
Hibernation might be better. What happened to Chuck? All right.
I don't know. There's some old joke about looking for the bear poop with bells and it smells like pepper spray, but I can't remember the joke.
I got a great joke about hunting bears, but I can't do it on the radio. All right, things you'll never want in your home after COVID-19. I'm scared of UPS packages. Are you scared of UPS packages?
We haven't really been doing anything with those. We get a bunch of them.
All right. Because I've been, buying some stuff online so I don't have to leave home and stuff I can't get around here. But I'm always scared when the Amazon package arrives.
Well, when we did some research, for one, just wash your hands after you open your package.
Of course.
But they say that because of the, when things get shipped, because of the altitude in the planes, all the cargo goes in the belly.
That it's probably okay, huh? I think we lost Chuck. We got some internet, and we got some heavy internet congestion or something this morning on Zoom.
Earth to be stable by the time it gets to your house. That's what they say anyway.
Okay, so you dropped out for about 20 seconds there, and you were saying that up in the air, in the aircraft and stuff, they're saying that the virus dies?
Well, just mostly because of the unstable environment, because it gets cold and it gets hot, and when the cargo areas are usually unheated or unair conditioned.
All right.
So it goes through too many extremes before it gets delivered to you for the virus to be stable. That's what they say anyway.
Okay. All right.
Of course, that was like a couple weeks ago when I read that. Everything changes right now with this thing.
Yeah, you never know. The website Best Life Online says we never want these things in our home again after COVID-19. I'll see if Chuck agrees with me. Used toys. Well, you may have grabbed a used swing set from a friend or brought home a secondhand puzzle from a discount store. It's unlikely to remain true going forward. Used toys.
That's true. Or yeah, I can't imagine like daycares and stuff with all the bins of toys and all the kids rummaging. Yeah, no.
How do you disinfect that, right?
Lysol.
Yeah. Cash. Recent study published in Lancet found that the coronavirus could be detected on banknotes for up to 4 days. And that's not even counting for other germs like MRSA, bacteria, or our friend E. coli.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only one place around here that I use cash at right now, and that's I don't like it.
Well, I don't like it either. In fact, I now call my money Corona Cash, and I am deathly scared of my money because then I even read thing about trying to wash your money or disinfect your money and how it doesn't even really work. And then in how China, they were letting you trade it in and stuff. And I even said on the radio one day, if that happens in America, if they ask us to turn in our cash, people are going to freak out. Because on a religious standpoint, so many people, have taken that mark of the beast thing and that type of stuff and are scared of that. And when they take away paper money and making everything digital, they have that feeling. But I remember years ago, my brother didn't even want a computer. Oh, I can't be connected to the system, and I don't want a computer, and then they're going to have me and all this kind of stuff. And then they unplug the plug one day, and my life falls apart. And I said, really? I said, if you go down to, if they pulled the plug on the internet and digital connectivity right now, do you really think you could go to the cash machine and get any money out? And his eyes got really big. I said, you're already connected. You just don't even know it. About a month later, he gave in and bought a computer.
The only you can do is hoard cash under your mattress, which might not be worth anything someday.
Well, the thing is now is you can leave money around your house if you have friends over, and probably no one's going to steal it.
Right.
No one's going to want to touch it.
Grocery store.
Yeah, I pulled out half of a 20 of change out of my pocket the other night, and I was just holding it by the tip, and I put it in a tray, and I was like, ooh, Corona Cash.
I had to apologize once. I handed somebody a bill and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's wet. It's covered in hand sanitizer."
All right, so that's right. We're scared of our money now. Secondhand clothing, while shopping secondhand may save you money, your thrift store habit may be put on the back burner after the pandemic passes. Also, one of the predictions I heard yesterday, and they say in places where they're not having like the social or the big shutdowns and stuff, that malls are ghost towns. Well, malls were already turning into ghost towns. I think this is going to be the end of the American shopping mall.
Yeah, that's been happening for, since I was a kid.
Well, I think that's the final nail in the coffin. Even if you go into like Northtown Mall in Spokane, my kid always, at least one of them, liked to, walk around and people watch, and they used to have the games downstairs and that kind of stuff. But I was in there before all this started, and on a Saturday, and it was like a morgue. There's a few people milling around, a few people, eating, but it's deserted, and a third of the stores are empty. And now you got your big box stores like Sears, going out, and you got this like whole corner of this massive building. So across America, we have all these buildings, and they're searching for ways to repurpose them, but it's not working very well. I know of one that became like a bouncy house thing, where they have every kind, like a theme park, but it was the mall. There's been some other changes like that. I saw one that got turned into a massive church, but they're trying to repurpose these buildings, and they're so big. What do you do with them?
I know, right? We had one of them in Anchorage got turned into a university.
Nice.
Yeah, they turned the whole mall into a college. That was kind of cool. Yeah, usually when we go to the mall, we go into like the bookstore. That's sort of our routine, is spend a little while in the bookstore and then go up to the movie theater. I was
thinking it would be great if we turned them all into low-income housing until something like COVID happened again.
Right.
But what a massive structure. You could put lots of housing in a place like that.
You really could. Tons of housing.
Yeah. Free housing. Let's throw that out there. Ooh. Ooh. All right, gift baskets. Getting a gift basket from a friend or a family member may have once been a happy occasion, but after the pandemic subsides, you may be second-guessing those presents. Why? According to the website, people will have to be especially careful with these, as they could have been in multiple homes in multiple areas, thus having more of a chance of holding virus particles on their surfaces and promoting further spread of infection. I just want to leave the planet now.
Right? Let's colonize Mars.
I know that FM broadcasting is line of sight. So this broadcast right now, Chuck, not only is it on YouTube and it's on our KCHW websites, it's also going out into space. So I would like to say to any aliens, please come save me. Hopefully they can find my GPS location. All right, homemade meals. Restaurants are held to relatively high standards when it comes to their cleanliness. Your friend's kitchen, not so much. And that's why accepting a homemade lasagna or batch of brownies from a pal may never be quite as appealing again.
Yeah, I've had some people like offer me food and stuff, and I'm like, looking at their kitchen like, no, thank you.
My best line. My best line yesterday is a gal in line invited me closer to her. She looked out, I was doing the social distancing thing, and I probably had 8 feet instead of 6 or something. And she kind of gives me the motion forward, and she says, "You're okay." And I tilted my head sideways. I said, "I know I am, but are you?" Or your kids?
Man, I made the mistake of going to Safeway during the day a few days ago. And
Man.
It was crazy.
It is crazy into the stores, and I even asked one that I frequent that's outside or two. I said, "So are you guys going to expand your hours back to where they are? Because this is ridiculous. I want to come in and shop at 8 o'clock when there's nobody there, but at 8 o'clock they're just packed, And then so many places closing earlier.
That is one thing I miss about living somewhere larger. When the grocery stores are open 24 hours, I used to do my shopping at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. I love that. To go to a Walmart late night. Here in Chihuahua, my thing was always hitting Safeway between 10 and 11 because there's nobody in there. Easy in, easy out, and I'm a night owl anyways. So that really worked for me, but not so much anymore.
You go to Walmart at 3 a.m. and the entertainment value is just phenomenal.
It's huge.
That's when all the fun people come out.
They're dressed differently. A lot of times they just kind of shake and twitch. Get my drift. All right. All right. Locked up with your wife, not an easy thing to do right now. And I'm not saying your wife, Chuck. I'm just saying any wife, any couple, locked up together.
It's a joy.
Finding clever ways to be romantic, maybe.
I meant that, seriously.
So these tips to help your marriage last, and they might help you while you're all locked up together. It's not about you. We're all selfish, but if you want your marriage to last and be a success, you need to consider the needs of your spouse before the needs of your own. Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's always true.
And that's tough because we are naturally self-indulgent. Mm-hmm. Realize that you both let each other down, and neither of you is perfect or think, and if you think you're perfect, that's probably a good sign your relationship's in trouble. I had one of those where she was always right and I was always wrong, and that doesn't work long term because nobody's always right. So,
right.
Most important thing you can do together is communicate, ongoing, bi-directional communication. That's why I can't do it, because I can't say it. Bi-directional communication will help build trust, set expectations, and avoid conflicts. Speak kindly to each other. Never curse, criticize, call each other names. That kind of stuff sticks with you. Even simple things like looking at Scott and saying, "You're the shortest man I've ever dated." That sticks with me.
It's not nice.
The funny thing is, Chuck, I'm every woman's shortest man they ever dated.
That does not matter, Scott.
And one of my ex-wives was 5'11". Can you imagine what that looked like? Yeah, she just leaned on me. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Understand that opposites don't attract in the long term. I never heard this before. Strongest relationships require common interests and experiences to endure over time. Also, go into relationships with your eyes wide open. Save yourself the heartache and avoid getting into a relationship with someone who has a pattern of abuse, addiction, or adultery. A lot of times, though, they don't share that with you going in.
Mm. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm going to cheat on you.
I like that.
I'll cheat on you tomorrow.
I'm going to skip the next one because,
I think people that have different, they're on different sides of the political spectrum. I know a few that, one side is like a hardcore progressive and the other one's like a hardcore Trumpian. And they're married and they get along. And I don't, that seems like that would be difficult. Or people who are not religious and people who are super religious. When there's like major fundamental, sort of philosophical things going on that are opposing, I have a hard time seeing how that works.
It does, though. I've made it work before. I've been with someone where we were totally on opposite sides of the political, the political structure, and you just kind of learn to listen to their points, and sometimes maybe they have a couple that you can go, okay and maybe see their kind of point of view. And then it's the same thing. They have to put up when you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like me, I'm always, because words are important.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called to the carpet for words that I've said on the radio that were delivered poorly or weren't thought out ahead of time or something like that, where maybe I've offended something, said something and it wasn't true. So words are very important to me. And I'm going to throw this out there, and I know people, I'll say it again. There's things Trump does I like. There's a lot of things I don't. And what I don't like is his mouth.
Right.
It's intentionally callous, hurtful, and inaccurate. And
Right.
especially in these times, to be shooting from your hip and saying, let things come out of your mouth that you don't know the correct answer to, you don't know if they're true, or you're just flat out making it up, is not okay.
Right.
And it drives me personally insane. And it's like I said, there's only one free person in the United States gets to do or say whatever they want without getting in, again, there's repercussions. But there's nothing you can do about it, and that's our president. I mean, he is the only free American left. I'm so happy for him. He is. He's totally free, and that must feel really good to be able to do and say to anyone whatever you want. Because there are some people around I'd like to give a piece of my mind, and how fun would that be? Or even, could you imagine being able to just somebody you don't like and being able to make fun of them on national TV?
But if there's any job in the world where it should be inappropriate to do those sort of things, it should be the one person we should hold to a higher standard than anybody else.
Exactly.
Not a lower standard than anybody else.
And here's the thing, Chuck. If I hated you and I had the chance to go on the radio and make fun of you and talk about you and tell everybody how bad you were, I would not do it.
You mean
As
Thursday?
a person, I could not do it. Yeah. What did you say? You made a joke.
I said that's just Thursday, Scott. It's happening right now.
So I wish the best, and it's got to be a hard job, but I just, man, I think from the beginning of his presidency, if there'd been sincerity and caring and a little love in his voice, I think our entire country would love him and honor him and treat him better. I think.
Well, he's got a very small radical base, and that's who he caters to.
Mm-hmm. And me personally, I think you dropped out. Me personally, it's really comes down to it's the tough thing for me because there's so many things. Actually, some of the laws he did through the FCC and stuff have changed my life and the way this radio station has to operate. And it's something that I don't know if I could have kept on doing long term the way things were because there was rules in place about how many hours and people had to be in the building, how long you had to be open, and they were impossible for a small nonprofit to adhere to. It was really rough. If Lynn, being a board member on the other side of the building, wouldn't have, if that wouldn't have qualified us, we'd have been in trouble because the law was 2 people in the station 8 hours a day, and that is just for small radio stations in small towns. Not to mention a non-commercial like us, that's impossible to survive. And he wiped all that out. So that was just so there. And I mean, I think China needed to be gone after really bad. I do. Whether you agree with it or not, the stuff on trade, I think will benefit our country for a long time. Now this whole COVID-19 that kind of throws a wrench into it, but yeah.
I just even if there are some positive side effects of some of the things he does, I always have to question his motive because he generally won't do anything unless it benefits him personally or his things. You
got to wonder about that. Business in general, and a little more. Me personally, the environmental stuff that's disappeared so far is really scary.
It is.
Yeah. All right, let's leave that alone before people start getting mad at us.
Right.
Yeah. How about Mother's Day's coming around the corner? Is your mother still with you, Chuck?
She is, yeah.
Good,
yeah,
good.
They had their 52nd anniversary on the 4th.
All right. So here's 5 things your mom never wants to hear about. All right, keep your secrets to yourself. Keeping them helps with having a healthy separation from your mom. There should be things that you just don't tell your mom. This begins early, continues through life. The funnest thing for me, I think, was when I hit about, 25, 26 is when I told my mom everything I'd done that she didn't know about.
You know what's funny is when you tell them stuff you did that you thought was a big secret, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we knew that." They know. They know everything.
All right, your love life, they just don't want to hear that for the same reasons as above. All right, so leave that alone. Near misses with danger. That just makes your mom worry. So don't keep making her responsible for you. If you're in trouble and you need her help, go to her with a plan that allows her to help you on her terms. This demonstrates respect and maturity. But yeah, near misses with danger. All right, beware of envy, yes, even from dear old mom. Don't expect her to always be thrilled with your great career moments, for example, when she perhaps never tasted personal economic success herself. Mm-hmm. I never thought about that one. And don't make mommy your best friend. A lot of guys, I think, what I've heard from Girl Talk over the years, do that. Guys that are way too attached to their mom. She's your mother and you love her, but best friends should be people other than mom. She probably has her own best friends and doesn't need you for that.
I try to maintain a healthy balance. I don't talk to him that often, but often enough.
All right. I think I had one more for you. After we get out of COVID, some of us are going to need to go get new jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
A bunch of people, unfortunately.
So I have some job listing lingo that I'm going to translate for people so that they know what kind of job they're getting into. You ready for this?
Ready.
All right. Competitive salary. That means we remain competitive by paying less than our competitors.
Right.
Join our fast-paced company. That means we have no time to train you, and you'll have to introduce yourself to your coworkers.
Yay, no training. Figure it out.
Seeking enthusiastic, fun, hardworking people. And that means who still live with their parents and won't mind our internship-level salaries.
Yes.
Or when you see that one, it says enthusiastic, fun, hardworking people. That mean you're going door to door. I mean,
Right.
that headline usually leads to a door-to-door job.
Just vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, selling vacuum cleaners on a commission only, right?
We bought one of those not too long. We fell for one of those not too long ago, a few years back.
Wow. So when I was in college, I sold rainbows.
Yeah.
Did you buy a rainbow?
No, it was a filter queen. You're actually using one of the. We bought a vacuum and 2 filters, and you're using one of the filters.
You are. Thank you so much. Chuck is trying to help me out with my allergies. And when I saw it and it said Filter Queen on it, I thought, is that one of the from the old school vacuum company? And it is.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
I'm embarrassed to say how much we paid for all that stuff. So.
Well, I know when I was selling, you don't have to, I'll throw this out there. When I was selling rainbow vacuum cleaners door to door, which I will swear by as far as the world's coolest vacuum cleaner. Annoying to use because you have to dump the basin. But water is a better filter than anything unless you're dealing with like ash. I think are the two things you can't use in the vacuum cleaner. Ash and sawdust. It has a problem with. But other than that...
Don't knock Grandpa off the fireplace.
The what?
Don't knock Grandpa off the fireplace.
Yeah, you can't clean that up.
Yeah.
But those vacuums, you know, when they sell them, they tell them you can, and I know this for a fact. In fact, I have a miniature one that does just the air beside my bed. But they actually clean the air. If you have a rainbow vacuum cleaner, you set it in the middle of your room, you turn it on, let it run for an hour, and you come back and you can put clean, fresh water in it. That water is gray from everything that it's pulled out of the air. They are simply amazing. Now, so that was... let's see, right after high school, so we're looking about 1984, 1985, and that vacuum cleaner without the carpet shampooing attachment was $2,400 in 1985. So I imagine they probably sell for about the same, but as far as vacuum cleaners go, rip off. Good vacuum cleaner, but that's a ridiculous price. I could go out and buy 2 cars for that.
Right? Yeah, no, that's...
All right.
You spend a little more than that, but yeah.
Not my cars. Have you seen them?
Right?
All right. Let's see. We got way off course there. Let's see. Did I do a casual work atmosphere? That means we don't pay enough to expect you to dress up. But a couple of real daring guys wear earrings. All right, sorry. Join our dynamic team. That means we all listen to nutty motivational tapes. I hate those guys too, where you've clicked on a link because you think it's an actual job, and then you get like the Tim Robbins guy trying to pitch you something, and he's super hyped up. Yeah, those guys all need to go away. Must be.
You happen to have the training films from the 80s?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, must be deadline oriented, and that means you'll be 6 months behind schedule on your first day.
That's right.
I hate those. I volunteer like that. I'm always behind.
You'll have impossible deadlines, and then you'll
do.
get rated when you don't get it.
Yeah. I have to chew out myself, though. All right. Duties will vary. This is a great job to have because it means anyone in the office can boss you around.
Yeah, duties will vary. That means do what we tell you.
Exactly. Must have an eye for detail. That means the business you're going to work for has no quality control.
Yeah.
All right. And my favorite one here, we'll end with this. It's problem-solving skills are a must. And that means you're walking into a company with perpetual chaos.
Right. You got to figure it out.
Can you think of the worst job you ever had?
The worst job I've ever had. Probably, yeah. It was a donut shop, a donut and coffee shop. I worked there for 2 days, and the whole time I got yelled at by a 13-year-old.
How old were you?
Oh gosh, in my early 20s, 21, 22. It was the owner's daughter kept screaming at me the whole time about how I was slow and didn't do a good job. And
oh man, I think the most hated job I had was Sherry's Restaurant.
Sounds about right.
I was between radio gigs, couldn't get a job, and I thought, where can I make more than minimum wage? I'll go wait tables. What a horrible idea that was. And it wasn't anything about the work environment or anything Sherry's did. It was just serving food to people and being a waiter. That is the worst job ever. Tip those people.
Oh, I've done a lot of waiting jobs, but I just kind of like those. But.
Well, you get to visit with the people. So the reason why I didn't like it is I'm not detail oriented, and if you want your milk with your meal, it ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna remember. Don't even ask me to do something special.
You know the best job I've ever had, aside from being my wife's husband, was I worked.
Oh, hold on a minute.
I worked for an adult sport league company, like an adult social club company. We did adult dodgeball and kickball, and I was a dodgeball referee and a field manager for kickball, and I got paid to play kickball and go to the bar.
Wow.
50 an hour. Best job I ever had.
I got paid to sleep for 3 months.
Nice.
Yeah, we just need someone in the building. And there's only, and I'm serious, this is what they told me. We just need someone in the building. There's only about an hour of work per night. And once you're done with your work, just, you can bring a laptop, you could bring your own TV, you bring some pillows, and you can sleep as long as the doorbell's on. And I was like, really? So, and it was just a 3-month job over the winter, kind of like a Shining kind of deal. And I just showed up every night. I did the bookwork, which there was really none from the day, and it took about an hour. And then I played video games, watched movies, did work from my second job because there was lots of paperwork with that job.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like totally casual. I loved it.
I had a job in Texas. I was doing gate guarding for a fracking operation, and it was an inactive operation. And I had to be there I was just guarding the equipment that they were storing there, and it was from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and nobody ever went in or out.
Oh. What kind of job was it?
It was a gate guard on an oil field.
Huh.
On an inactive oil field.
Because what I heard you say, Chuck, was gay parrot.
A gay parrot. Yes, I was a...
gay parrot.
I was a rainbow chicken.
Just flying around all willy-nilly.
We're not talking about that here.
I don't know how I got that out of there, but hey, it's Zoom. You never know what you're going to hear.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a pet armadillo. That was great.
Ooh.
Yeah. He used to come every night and I'd feed him cat food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you touch him, or he was just friendly for food?
No, I would never tried touching it. They get a little sketchy.
Never. I don't think anybody should ever be afraid of wild animals.
Yeah, no, they're fine.
Yeah.
Look how cute. Look how cute they are.
Chicken. All right. Real quick, let's do this, and then we'll maybe take a little break and come back and play some games since we've been yakking for almost an hour. But before we leave, I'd like to some things I thought about in the shower this morning.
Okay.
All right. A couple of them that really bugged me. The main characters in VeggieTales are a tomato and a cucumber. Neither of which are vegetables.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Squash and a fruit.
Chuck, if you're not supposed to eat late at night, why is there a light in the fridge?
Exactly. Who says you're not supposed to eat late at night? It's always morning somewhere. It's breakfast.
These are some of my favorites. I saved them just for you. Thinner people can be described as skinny, yet larger people would have more skin. So, aren't you skinny?
I am skinny.
See? All right. If dogs are man's best friend, cats are man's ambivalent roommate.
At best.
All right. And remember this, bed sheets are like underwear for your mattress.
That's right. If you flip them over, you get a couple more days.
All right.
Just like underwear.
Just like underwear. All right, we're going to take a short break. We will talk to our sponsors here in a few minutes because they help us out. And me and Chuck will be back. We've got some odd news that we can throw out today. We also have some really cool trivia questions. I like to challenge Chuck because he's a smart guy. And we have some news headlines that are kind of fun. So stick around. It's KCHW. See him tapping his head on the camera? Uh-huh. All right. There you go right now. You remember this one? It's an 80s flashback, Chuck. Let's see if you can name it. Last name is Jones. All right, he's dancing. And that's it. It's Howard Jones. Things can only get better. It's our COVID song.
I have no idea.
We're not scared to lose it all. Security cut through the wall. Future dreams we have to realize.
All right, I'm going to stop us on YouTube, but we'll